getting the lather going. It's over 90 degrees right now. The sun is blaring down. Earlier this afternoon, Gennady Golovkin worked out for the crowd. Got them in a frenzy. You saw the Kazakhstan flag out there. Now it is a pro-Canelo crowd. And Doug Fisher, this fight a couple weeks away. I've been thinking, okay, I'm excited for it. Now that I'm actually feet away from these dudes, we saw Gennady earlier, I'm pumped.
Yeah, now it's real. Now it's reality. We knew the fight was made in May, but seeing these guys work out in front of their dedicated fan bases, that lets us know, okay, we are in the final stretches of this promotion. In just 3 weeks, these guys are going to get into the ring, and they're going to duke it out.
Usually a media workout is held in a gym, closed to the public, and there's photographers fighting each other, trying to get that perfect shot. But this one, it's an event, just like this fight. Crowd is involved, open to the public. This harkens back to the days of the Ali, the elite fighter, right? They're going out there putting on spectacles.
Yeah, it's usually like when I think of a media press conference that's held outdoors during the day and thousands of people come to see it. It's like when Oscar De La Hoya was still fighting, and when he was fighting another bona fide star like Julio Cesar Chavez or Felix Trinidad or Fernando Vargas.
Gennady Golovkin took the ring a little bit after 12 o'clock. These fans have been here from what one of the security guards said as early as 7 o'clock this morning to get a front row spot to see Gennady Golovkin, and now they're watching Canelo Alvarez. Red-headed, freckles, turned pro months after he was 15 years old, and you saw on Sunday nights 24/7 where his brother Rigoberto taught him how to box at the family home in the middle of the streets, back and forth. Family of 8. He's the youngest one. He's the mama's boy. His mom was cooking for it. When you get tortillas hecho de mano, you know you're the favorite one. But he is also an elite fighter. And this fight with Gennady Golovkin is going to be one that is going to leave the fans wanting more.
Those younger brothers are always the more talented and the toughest. You know, I guess they have to fight for their position within the family, and they just go from there. But he's had a charmed boxing career, turned pro at 15, as you noted, and won his first major world title 5 years later. It took him a while to develop, but he didn't really have an extensive amateur career. He wasn't a storied amateur standout the way Gennady Golovkin was, so he was learning while working his craft as a professional boxer. So maybe the first 20, even 30 professional bouts of his career, that was his learning curve. And now he's here. He's at his physical apex. And I got to tell you, he looks great now that he's finally allowing himself to fight at the full middleweight limit.
Fighting at 160 pounds, was at 54 for a while. There you see him skipping rope in Under Armour gear. And I just recently came back from Mexico City and also brief stop in Guadalajara, Doug. And Canelo everywhere. He's there. A big investment for them down in Mexico. But Canelo Alvarez, he's just a marketing machine right now. He is one of the few people that can sell out T-Mobile Arena alongside Gennady Golovkin.
Well, he can sell out stadiums. He might be the only North American-based spawn fighter who can do stadiums. He can do ballparks. He can do 30,000. He can do 40,000. He can do 50,000. And those are the types of numbers that he puts forth when he fights in Texas, whether it's San Antonio, Houston, or Dallas.
He's done it all in Texas. He's went down there, big venue, Cowboy Stadium, which was rumored to actually have a chance to host this fight. He's done over 50,000 there. But Saturday night, September 16th in Las Vegas, it'll be at the T-Mobile Arena. Even the closed circuit tickets are hard to come by right now. Hotels are hard to come by. We will be there all week long with Golden Boy Promotions, bringing you the grand arrivals on Tuesday, the weigh-ins on Friday, the press conferences, everything that you need as you get ready for Supremacy, Triple G, and Canelo. Now, also Canelo, let's not sugarcoat it, he has his detractors, he has his haters.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of them being in Mexico.
That's true. That's interesting. And it's, I think part of the reason is he gave up that WBC title, which is the Mexico-based sanctioning organization. And a lot of folks were thinking, well, if you give up that belt, it means you're not going to fight the #1 fighter at middleweight. And if so, what are you doing at middleweight? And for a while, he wasn't sure if he was going to fight at middleweight or not. So we got a lot of derision and criticism for that. But he's a real champion. He's a Mexican champion. He's got that young man's pride. And he's facing the dominant middleweight champion of the world, which kind of harkens back to the storylines of some of the major historic middleweight championship clashes of the past, where you got a dominant middleweight champion like Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and his biggest fights came from star fighters who were coming up in weight. First it was Roberto Duran, then it was Thomas Hearns, and then it was Sugar Ray Leonard, who actually beat him. And then even with Bernard Hopkins, who before Triple G was the last undisputed and dominant middleweight champion, his biggest fights didn't come against fellow middleweights. It came against star fighters who were coming up in weight from the welterweight and junior middleweight divisions. And I'm talking about Felix Tito Trinidad and Oscar De La Hoya.
I love talking and listening to you about boxing. I mean, by talking means I ask you one question, you just go. I love it. You're an encyclopedia. That is the voice of Doug Fisher, the editor of RingTV.com. Also does a great mailbag Fridays and Mondays. And Dougie, when I read your mailbag, it seems like every single one has a question regarding Triple G and Canelo.
Yeah, it's because both guys have dedicated fan bases, diehard fans. The Triple G fans, they can't see Golovkin losing. And the Canelo fans right now have a chip on their shoulder, just as I'm sure the young champion does, because people were doubting him. And he is the betting underdog in this fight. So they got his back, so they go at it in comment sections and on social media, and that's only going to intensify in the weeks leading into this event.
Great point. A betting underdog in Las Vegas. Not a big underdog, but he is the underdog. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's an interesting question because Canelo Alvarez has as much claim to the middleweight throne as Gennady Golovkin does. Golovkin has the most sanctioning organization belts. However, Canelo is the linear middleweight champion, and he's recognized by Ring Magazine. He's got the bigger names on his resume. He's got future Hall of Famers like Miguel Cotto, Sugar Shane Mosley. He fought Floyd Mayweather when he was 22 years old. However, those guys aren't middleweights. He doesn't have a lot of bona fide middleweight contenders on his ledger. Triple G does. So Triple G is the proven fighter at 160 pounds.
So what's on the line September 16th? Which belts?
It's the
linear?
Yeah, the linear championship. That means, and that's not a title. That's not
hardware.
That's a designation. The man who beat the man who beat the man, going back to the last undisputed champion, which is Bernard Hopkins. That's Canelo Alvarez. He also has the Ring Magazine championship. And Triple G right now, he holds the WBC title, the IBF belt, and the WBA belt. And he also holds the IBO title. There's a lot of hardware on the line.
You wrote about a time that they sparred, that there was this boogeyman in Big Bear. You re-released it, the story that you wrote at that time, but Canelo Alvarez was 20.
That's right.
He was a smaller fighter at that time in weight.
Yeah, he had just stepped up from welterweight to junior middleweight and won the WBC title from Matthew Hatton, Ricky Hatton's brother out of England. And in fact, Matthew Hatton was a welterweight. Canelo was a big welterweight, and that fight was fought at a catch weight of, I think, like 150 and a half or 151 pounds. And Canelo missed weight, and he was upset with himself and upset with his performance because he couldn't put Hatton away. So he moved his camp from Guadalajara, Mexico, where he was a big fish in a little pond, to the Summit Gym in Big Bear, California, where he sparred, where he met Triple G and sparred with Triple G.
Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher, and Jessica Rosales, the third member of our crew. She's roaming around with the crowd around the ring. Jessica, where are you?
I will tell you right now, I am not roaming around because it has gotten so crowded up here. I'm sitting in the red corner, and this is prime real estate, you guys. It has gotten so crowded here ringside with photographers, people taking photos with their phones. Even Oscar De La Hoya, the the Golden Boy himself, is here ringside checking out Canelo doing his media workout. And it's not just the media that is over here trying to get their shots and trying to get photos. It is also the fans. They have gotten a lot louder. You see, they've gotten a lot closer to the front. And every time Canelo takes a break in between his workouts, they start chanting, Canelo, Canelo. The atmosphere has definitely shifted here since he's gotten in the ring, guys.
Jessica, he just took off his shirt right now, and I'm not putting you on spot here, but this dude looks ripped. You're like 2 feet away from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Beto, seriously, this guy right now has no ounce of fat on him. Like I said, I'm right here in the red corner. You guys can see me in the background of everything. And I'm telling you right now, both of these fighters, as we saw Triple G's workout earlier, are in top shape. This is going to be a very tough fight for both of them.
He looks really serious. I know it's a media workout. They usually don't, but looks a little intense.
Y'all see Canelo Alvarez doing his thing. Tried to get Eddie Reynoso for an interview. He said, you know what, we this is the media workout, and they're still trying to stay focused and keep to their routine.
Good job, Jess. We'll check in with you in a bit. That is the voice of Tattoo. I don't think he needs a microphone right now. They can hear him in Las Vegas. Also, Eddie Reynoso has a microphone on him. Let's listen in on that.
This is the best physique that I've seen on Canelo Alvarez. Usually at this stage going into a fight, he begins to dry out and his body takes on kind of a strained, drawn look, but he looks great right now. He doesn't just look, he doesn't look bulky, but he looks very lean, he looks very muscular, and you see the fluidity of his punches, you see the nimbleness in his movements, you see the reflexes, and you see a lot of blocking and a lot of head and upper body movement. And I guess that's what the pool noodles are for. They're not for striking, they're really for dodging and for blocking with your hands and really working the defense. And Canelo prides himself on his defense.
Canelo Alvarez in the ring right now with Eddie Reynoso, the only trainer he's ever had. This dude's back is ripped, he's got abs. Earlier this afternoon, Gennady Golovkin worked out. Another fighter. I think they both are ready to step on the scale. Let's look at the split screen. Oh, slow-mo and everything. Good job with the crew. I mean,
yeah, they both look like they're ready to fight right now.
I mean, last time Canelo was on the scale, he fought Chavez Jr., looked ripped. But this is a second fight at the 160. Well, actually, that was at 160.
That was at 164.
Yeah, this is more natural.
Yes, absolutely. Now, he is not a super middleweight. He is a full-bodied middleweight. He's taken his time in moving up to the middleweight division, even though he won the linear title in November of 2015. And if you ask me, I think he was ready to be a full-fledged middleweight last year. However, he'd spent so much of his career at junior middleweight, he was just comfortable, I think, mentally fighting at 154 or 155. But I think after his performance against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he realizes he trains better and he fights better, allowing himself to train at the higher weight and to fight at the heavier weight.
I mean, you see the towel. I ain't even gonna hide it. I'm just toweling myself off right now. The makeup is gone. I'm not even forgetting. We've been out here for a while. I'm Doug Fisher, and if it's hot underneath the tent, it's over 90 degrees on my phone, which is already burning. You know it's hot inside that ring. And Canelo Alvarez putting on the gloves. This is a different than your normal media workout. A lot of times the guys come in, they'll shadow box, they'll do the speed bag. It's for show. Today, these guys are legit punching. They're legit throwing it.
Yeah, and that's what the fans want to see because they're rooting for their guys. Some of them are putting money down on their favorite fighter, and they want to know what they look like. They want to look at their faces, see if there's any marks or anything like that. They want to look at the quality of their muscles. They want to look at their bodies, if they look a little paunchy, if they look a little drawn in, like they're drying out to make weight. These guys look great. They don't look like that. They look like they're ready to fight right now.
Canelo Alvarez, La Reforma, Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. He's in there with Eddie Reynoso, the only trainer he's ever had. His brother Roberto started him. But he walked in with Eddie and Chepo, his father, and with him since day one. Here's some of those punches right now.
He's punching with a lot of leverage, a lot of snap. It's not with the same power or thud that you heard with Gennady Golovkin. And I don't think Canelo is coming into this fight trying to be the physically stronger or the more powerful puncher. But what's obvious is he does have sufficient power to get respect in there, and that's the most important thing.
We're in downtown Los Angeles, across from Staples Center, watching Canelo Alvarez. Thanks for everybody watching all over the world. Terry in East LA, Terry Roslo, China's out. You're right. These two dudes, as you just tweeted, look great. That's what you want to see from a fighter 3 weeks out. Also that strut both of them had in that ring.
They have that confidence because they've been at the top for so long and they've been attractions for so long, so they're used to the spotlight. They're used to having a lot of pressure on them. They're used to having a legion of fans wanting them to fulfill their wishes, which is to go out there and to win and to look good and to bring pride to their home countries, but also to the sport of boxing.
Now, they're not doing a full workout. This is for show. This is for the cameras, for the fans. I'm sure they're going to go and have a real intense workout later on.
Yeah, and the sun is very strong. They don't want to overexert themselves or stay out here too long. That just wouldn't be healthy. But they're putting some effort into this workout, and the fans appreciate it, and they deserve it because they've been standing out here for so long.
Jess, what's it looking like?
All right, guys, I told you that we were out here with the fans and that they have been here all morning and they keep chanting Canelo, Canelo. And right now I have found some fans that have been here since 6 in the morning today. And it is really loud over here, so I hope you guys are not trying to talk to me because I cannot hear anything. But I got to introduce you to my new friends. We've got Tony, Victor, and Brian, who came out here at 6 a.m. I was asleep at 6 a.m. Come here, Tony. Why did you guys wake up and get here so early? What is so important for you to be here?
Came to see the man, Canelo, baby, #1.
Never would I imagine waking up at, what time did you wake up? Because you were here at 6.
Well, we woke up around 5:15, 5:30.
All for Canelo. Why?
He's the man. He's the man.
All right, and so I see you're wearing the Lakers shirt. You got the Dodgers shirt. You're wearing the Canelo band. Why is Canelo such a staple here in Los Angeles? Why do you think he represents the people here?
You know what? It's just the hard work. He's just a man of the people. And we support him for that.
We got Victor here, so we're going to get Victor's analysis on this. Victor, it's going to be a tough fight for Canelo against Triple G. How do you see this playing out?
I think they're both professionals and consummate boxers of the sweet science. I think it's going to go the distance, and whoever makes a mistake, that's who's going to get caught.
So he sees it going the distance, guys. We're going to be talking to some more fans while we're out here. But I think I'm going to start hanging out with these guys. They look like a real fun bunch. We'll throw it back to you.
Man, Jessica, hopefully those guys got a mover as they got here to Staples Center at 6 in the morning. I don't even want to know how much they paid for parking. It was worth it.
Seeing different types of mitt work, pad work with Canelo. We saw the pool noodles, which is more defensive. We saw the pillow, which is more about power and accuracy. And now we're seeing the hand mitts, which is more about combinations and speed and fluidity. And I think Canelo has that. I think one of his edges going into this matchup, at least physically speaking, is his quickness, his hand speed.
Wearing the green, white, and red Everlast with his CA logo. Canelo Alvarez. How old is he, Doug?
26 years old.
I just want to hear you say that because he's still a pup.
Yes, he is.
10 years experience, but he's a pup.
He's just now entering his athletic prime and physical peak.
Gennady Golovkin, 2004 silver medalist. He's how old?
He's 35, but ages in boxing are a funny thing.
Yeah.
Not all 30-year-olds or 35-year-olds are the same. For instance, Miguel Cotto, who's going to go into the Hall of Fame. He's 36 years old. He's only 1 year.
Cotto's 36?
He's 36.
We saw him Saturday.
Yes. Yeah, he's just 1 year older than Golovkin, but he's been a pro since late 2000. Gennady Golovkin didn't turn pro until 2006. So not as much wear and tear on his body. Plus, he hasn't been in a whole lot of wars because he's got that power.
Face.
Yeah.
Cotto's face has the wars.
Yeah, he's been in some fights.
Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, Jessica Rosales here at LA Live watching Canelo Alvarez. De Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. But he trains for camps in San Diego. Gennady Golovkin from Kazakhstan trains for his camps in Big Bear. Both of these fighters going away from their families, sacrifice. So, you know, by the time we get to September 16th, they're going to be so hungry and just ready to get this going.
Everybody's ready for this fight.
Like, we get excited because we love what we do. But when you actually see it and you see the crowd reaction to it, how people are so involved with this, it makes it even more special for us. And really, for me, I really appreciate what we have and get so close to this. But if you're a fan out there right now, when have you ever been able to get this close to see this?
No, and it gives us a taste of what we can expect in Las Vegas. If you can get this many people out 3 weeks out from the fight for a media workout, they just want to get a live glimpse of them. Imagine what it's going to be like at the final press conference, and the weigh-in is going to be insane. That's going to be great.
In other words, if you're planning on going Friday night, don't, man. You know what? You got those vacation days. You got those. I mean, no. If you
come out early, seriously. This is a real boxing event, and it's a real fight. We keep hearing that. Golovkin kept saying it. This is a true fight. This is a real fight, and it's for true fans and real fans, and that's a very special atmosphere and experience in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I know it sounds weird. Let me go see two guys stand on a scale, but it's a different vibe when Canelo has it. When he brings his crowd, when Gennady brings his crowd, I cannot wait to be there that day. Obviously, you can watch it on Ring TV, but to be in the building, in the casino, the atmosphere, everything about it. That Friday, the buzz is tremendous. If we saw it for Canelo and Chavez, because it was a rivalry for Mexico, I can't imagine the one for Canelo and Triple G.
Yeah, I mean, Canelo Chavez was super intense. It was packed. It was a great electric atmosphere. But Canelo was a huge favorite in that fight, and a lot of people had serious